Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the warm welcome. Thanks for the introduction. It's always nice to be in a hall filled with enthusiasts, filled because generally when I meet in the last couple of years, when I'm addressing customers and stakeholders, including our partners, it's generally I need to sell the concept on why EV, why we should transition. But I think this forum and this round, we are convinced we just need to see the roadmap. What are the opportunities lies therein? And I was really amazed. I thought this is a platform 4 to 5 years old, but Dipanshu just informed me this is the ninth edition that this summit and this conclave happened. So thanks to ETAuto actually for having me here. Thanks for coming up with such a platform where we can discuss, we can share ideas, and also grow the overall market, which still in a lot of ways is still in a nascent stage. So today, I think the topic that I would like to share is about how luxury segments are driving EV adoption in India. Coming from Mercedes-Benz, we are producing two EVs in Pune in our plant, and I will come to that later. But let me share some statistics first, so that what is the luxury segment doing? How many cars are being sold? What's happening in this segment? So to start with, luxury car market is just 50,000 cars end of this year in a 4 million car market. And here, if you see 6% of the sales today are electric vehicles. And that if you compare it with the mass market segments or premium segments, it will be around 2 to 2.5%. So definitely the luxury space has 3 times more affinity that we have seen compared to the mass market space. And that's one insight. The second, if I go with certain consumer research data, there was a report by McKinsey which said that 70% of current owners of combustion engine cars in the luxury segment would love to shift to a EV, provided it's at the right price, right value proposition, and some of their concerns are mitigated. So there is definitely a large appetite when you look at the luxury car market for electric cars. It's also a bit ironical that after many years we generally have been selling cars and trying to shift customers from combustion engine to EVs. But today, after a couple of launches, we came to a situation where my sales guy said, we don't have cars now, and we are shifting back some customers for the year-end sale. So I think we can see the wind, the corner turning. There is an increased acceptance, and let me share now a couple of reasons why and why it's happening here. So to start with, luxury cars and in general, and I would say the segment introduces a lot of technological innovations, but before that also a lot of safety. So if you see us, as a brand, we were able to demonstrate a head-to-head collision among two EVs because one of the most biggest criteria we thought in our segment is safety. Safety when it comes into an unfortunate incident, safety when it comes to water wading, safety when it comes to batteries risk. So customers in our research feel a bit more comfortable with luxury cars, the kind of testing which has gone. Also, we have demonstrated head-to-head collisions and so on and so forth. Secondly, when we also configured the cars, we said that these customers will be more having a higher affinity to digitalization. So the multiple screens in cars. So when we did the EQS, you could see, the screen as a dashboard, and I think 3 screens on the dashboard there, just to show the length of digitalization. Also, a lot of other features like rear axle steering to, I would say, a lot of debut in the car. When it comes to EVs, and this we did also consciously. And when I say not only us, but I think all the players in the segment, because the customer profile being different, we said we need to equip these cars, make it more digitalized for faster acceptance. The second differentiator is, and again I am now specific to India, is a growing younger aspirational luxury consumer, which is trying to buy cars also for rewarding themselves. And now when you want to reward yourself, there is a lot of consciousness among this segment of car buyers. 15% of our, I would say, electric BEV customers are first-time luxury car buyers. They are straight away coming into the luxury and getting into a EV car. Also, when I look at doctors, architects, startup founders, these are the predominant target group. And the average age we have seen has also come down to 38 years compared to around 40 when you look at combustion engine cars. So a much more younger customers trying to get into luxury segment, and then of course their preference being EVs. The Also, when you look at the luxury car market, and I can say more for Mercedes-Benz, range anxiety is mitigated because the size of batteries in these cars, we have 122 kilowatt battery packs delivering real world range of 600, 700 kilometers, also, setting records in real world conditions. I think that's another concern when it comes to EV adoption is mitigated in the luxury segment. And the more and more we are, of course, able to give these bigger battery packs, also use software to get that kind of range because the consumers can afford it. So we have that advantage on the pricing side that helps, us to give these product offerings and mitigate the range anxiety when it comes to luxury BEVs. As I said, also there is a big differentiation when it comes to customer mindset. That today I would say luxury customers want more differentiated cars. So on one end of the spectrum, they go into customization, personalization of cars. But on the other side, I think the green number plate gives a very big differentiation for the same brands of cars standing below a large luxury apartment complex. So it's not about what luxury car you drive, that's at one level, but are you driving sustainable options? There is a symbolic shift that we can see also with families having young children. I think the entire topic of trying to differentiate, trying to shift into much more modern modes or future modes of mobility, because it's the leap of faith that's holding a lot of customers back, and luxury customers tend to take a much faster leap of faith when it comes to some of these areas. But coming to sustainability, because I think that's it's not on the core agenda. So when you meet consumers, they are not ready to pay still a premium for sustainability. They don't. They still want the pricing to be as at par or even lower if possible compared to combustion engine counterparts. So they are not ready to pay a premium. But if there is a very good product offering, what we have seen, there is a lot of peer pressure also from their kids, because the younger generation really wants to get into these options. Plus, a lot of corporates who buy cars, they also have targets now of reducing they have their own long-term sustainability goals. So it's only imperative that the top management of these large organizations, they also shift to EVs and also give a clear message to the overall organization about their role in their bid on what they can do by driving some of these cars. Last not the least, the public charging infrastructure is always a debate, more so in markets like India. Luxury customers generally are able to get either chargers installed much more easier at their apartment complexes, or they stay in independent houses. We see a big trend in states like Telangana, Kerala, or wherever there are independent houses. There, the dependency of a public charging infrastructure is mitigated, and then with a long range of say 600 to 700 kilometers range, if you have now a public charger, a private charger at home or office, it's mitigated. So we tend to see that the usage of public charging by a luxury customer is hardly 8% of the charging cycle. All of the rest, 92%, they're using it either at their own convenience at their home or office. And I think that's again an advantage for the luxury players because the dependence on public charging is also limited. So that's about, I would say, a couple of reasons why you can see a much higher penetration. Maybe a couple of more I can add here is also the options. Today, if you look at the total automotive industry, less than 1% of the cars sold in India are EVs. So to expect a much higher penetration on EVs is also not fair, because the option available to the customer is also limited. If you compare that with luxury segment, 15 to 20% of the portfolio today is EV. We as Mercedes-Benz offer now close to 6 cars on electric cars, starting from an EQA to an EQS SUV Maybach. There is a car almost in every entry, core and the top end luxury segment for customer. So if you offer more range and when you increase your portfolio, we have seen customers coming into the segment. So it's a matter of time. We feel that even the mass or the premium segment with more product offerings, with more products coming in, and it's a matter of months now and not years, that you will see this inflection point coming for changing this. So that's about the reasons why you can see a much higher penetration. As I said, our outlook is quite positive. This year gives us a lot of confidence after the multiple product launches that we have seen on the EV space. But coming to what can be done and what can be done more to accelerate, and here I will again pick up the topic of charging. one big pain point that we see even from our customers today is it's still not democratized. You need to download a couple of apps on your phone. Of course, there are some apps, even we offer some aggregating solutions, but still there are many large players who are not part of this. And the request as OEMs to them, along with also to the government, has always been democratize it. Let the UPI movement come in charging, in public charging, because that's where you are taking away a lot of anxiety. Personally, also for me, if I travel intercity, you need to be dependent on 2 to 3 apps, and that's not the best solution. So I think that's something that would be a clear request. Apart from this, we have always been advocating for continuation of a great, a very good favorable tax regime. Today, we all know EVs attract 5% GST compared to the 48% on large cars on a combustion engine car. I think this is a very unique thing for India, because most of the Western world is struggling to give subsidies to support the transformation to EV, because you have to pay it out of your pocket. But at least with the tax differential, the India government has a unique advantage that they don't need to pay out; they can only keep the delta difference, and we can look at this acceleration. But for capex to happen, there needs to be a clear confirmation till when and how long this differential will continue. And that's again a request as a luxury OEM in India for 30 years. And I think also on states, we can see more and more states they're rolling back, sometimes again going back on zero road taxation. India has 20% road tax on an average on cars. Here again, a bit of stability will help for faster adoption. We have seen states having a penetration of up to 10% on EVs, going back to 2%. The moment that 20% road tax is again coming back, going back to 10% the moment it is waived off. So you can see a clear price sensitivity. So the argument that consumers are not ready, market is not ready, is not maybe entirely right. If you are able to get the cars at the right price point and also supported a bit by other stakeholders, we are seeing an acceleration happening. So to conclude, I would say, firstly, for us as Mercedes-Benz, there is no luxury without sustainability. So it's not an option. We are all in. We have said that we will have a product in every segment for customers worldwide. We are also in the forefront of bringing more and more EVs to India. We have already localized 2 cars. And if that's to be the case, clearly for us, the ecosystem development is important. Payment solutions are important. As I already mentioned about the continuation of tax incentives are important. But one thing is clear now, I think in the 9th year of the ETAuto Conclave, there is no looking back. Because in 2018, when we launched the EQC in India, they said why? And when we localized the EQS, the question was, why are you localizing an EV? Today, that question is not there. I think in any of the forums, it's no looking back, it's only forward. Of course, the question remains how soon? We are ready. I think the ecosystem is gearing up. As I see when I walked in, a lot of players outside doing a lot of work on some of this space. So I can only wish all the best. I think it's a collective role. Media on one side as stakeholders, us as OEM, supplier ecosystem, and lot of startup ecosystem, because I don't think we all know the final target picture, the final target car and how it will be there. But I think we are all getting there with latest technology. So with this, thanks once again to ETAuto. Hope I could share some insights and it's useful for these discussions. Thank you very much. Thank you.